anybody can be an entrepreneur, somebody once said, which is definitely not true. But a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, and they want to start up their own companies and move on, and often have very good ideas, but often also little experience, little knowledge about business, little knowledge about the environment they're working in, and so on. What I've found is that often constructing a goal tree can be a very good beginning. And I know that you've been involved in helping people with startups, and especially with by focusing on the goal tree and helping them to get things sort of sorted out using that. Could you share some insights?
Yeah, I can. One of the two modes of operation or use of the thinking process is to start up a company, to do strategic planning maybe for an existing company, but most importantly, for a company that doesn't exist. If you don't have a company that exists, but you want to build one, obviously the place to start is the goal tree. What do you want it to achieve, and what is it going to take to get there? Laying that down on paper is basically your roadmap or your strategy for the future. I can tell you with assurance that that's probably the one circumstance I can think of where there basically is no current reality tree. You go immediately from a goal tree to a future reality tree, and then from there to the prerequisite tree. I'll give you an example. One of my LTP students, he came to me in 2006 to learn how to use the thinking process to develop the strategy for his startup company, which he called Catalysts, GmbH, in Austria. He brilliantly applied the logical thinking process. One of the injections that he used was intended to draw the most accomplished computer programming talent in all of Europe to his company. He was looking to harvest the best graduates of computer science in all the universities in Europe. So what he did was, each year he and his partner would sponsor a programming contest which they would publicize to all the universities that had well-known or prestigious computer science courses or schools. And they would give the criteria out for the programming job that needed to be done. They would make it public. Anybody that wanted to apply could. And then his partner and he would evaluate each of the submissions, which had to be a computer program that they had put together themselves. As an example, one year their problem was to build a computer program that would operate a Mars rover on the surface of Mars. And in order to draw talent, they offered prizes for the first three places. 15,000 euros to the first place, 10,000 euros to the second, 5,000 to the third. Well, this got immediate attention from poor, starving college students who were working on Coca-Cola and pizza. The idea of having 15,000 or 10,000 in their pockets was very appealing. So he would get submissions from all of these universities. Between them, they would pick the top three, award the prizes, and along with those prizes came an immediate offer of postgraduate employment in his company. Because he now knew that he had the top programmers that year from any of the universities, and ones that were ambitious enough to apply. He did this for 5 or 6 years in a row, and basically harvested the top computer programming talent in all of Europe for 5 years, which is why his company went from 4 people in 2007 to 95 people by 2012.
Yeah.
And they were 95 really good people. And in retrospect, he came and told me, he said, I would never have been able to do this without the logical thinking process.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, that's really cool.
That's really good. Yeah. So, and you might assume that he's doing there is to ensure that he's accomplishing critical success factor, which is hiring and
Hiring the best talent.
the best people, which is of course extremely important in this.
Mm-hmm.
And I would assume that that was a part of his goal tree, right?
Yes.
To do that. So in what way would you say that the goal tree helps ensure that people do not overlook?
The only thing that I can say is in the process of forcing people to look at or to determine what the overall outcomes they have to achieve would be to getting to their goal, and all of the component tasks needed to achieve each of those critical success factors. When you look at it in the whole on the wall or on a screen, you tend to find glaring errors of omission that jump out at you.
And this is never emphasized enough, I think, how the goal tree is based on necessity logic. There's nothing that goes into it unless it is in fact needed to achieve the goal. And if it isn't needed, it doesn't go into the goal tree. And this also means that if you omit something that you have identified as necessary, then it ensures that you will not reach the goal. Right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. And there is a little nuance to the goal tree that most people overlook. When they see a goal tree with a goal and critical success factors at the top and a whole network of necessary conditions leading down to the very bottom, there's a tendency to think that the stuff at the bottom is less important than the critical success factors at the top. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter whether you and your task are located near the top or the bottom. They are equally important. And the reason is because you never get to the one at the top if the one at the bottom hasn't been accomplished first.
Precisely.
So
yeah.
that's the way to look at it.